Looks inside, it's caught! The Seahawks win the game! Holy cow!
I was hoping that we'd get a chance to be able to go back, and here we are.
Go Bulls, Go Bulls, Holy catfish! Now they're cooking with gas!
An NFC Championship at Lumen with the 12 behind us. Doesn't get any better than that.
This is obviously the biggest game right here, and it's time to finish it off this time.
That's right. The Rams and the Seahawks are preparing for their third matchup this season. This weekend in the NFC Championship game. So far, the rivalry has been very evenly matched, with both teams putting up 29 points per game and 415 yards per game. Big difference, the turnovers, of course. The Rams defense forced 7 turnovers in both games against the Seahawks this season. Mina Kimes is here with us on First Take. And Dan, I'm going to go to you first. Does this third meeting favor the Rams or the Seahawks?
I'm going to say the Rams. Number one, I think from a Sean McVay perspective, offensively, you always can dictate to a defense. He's got 2 games this year of gathering information. What does Mike McDonald like to do versus this personnel or this formation or this situation? And you can then throw the first counterpunch. You can take that information that you've gathered and you can utilize it to know, well, if McDonald's going to do this, then I can do this. And then that game within the game will start to play out. So I think, number one, Sean gets the first punch, essentially, when it comes to that thing. I think the second thing is, it's the third time that they get to see Sam Darnold. And as much as I love Sam, this has been a kryptonite of his. And so now that defense has got a bunch of tape on Sam Darnold against them of, this is the things, or these are the things that have worked against him, or this offensive line, or this pass protection scheme, or these backs in protection, and asterisk that, because I would fully blitz the running backs of Seattle and force them to pick up blitzing backers. Just mark that down. So I think that gives this defense for the Rams an advantage of, these are the things that we can take advantage of from an offensive perspective, both in Sam and some of their schemes. So I do think there's an advantage to that with the Rams.
Yeah, so to be clear, I'm not picking the Rams to win this game. But as far as the question goes, who benefits most from the third meeting, it is also the Rams for me. I echo Dan's thoughts on Sean McVay, and I would add to that, I think the veteran quarterback here, Matthew Stafford, who's played a lot of football and seen a lot of things, him getting to face this Seahawks defense for the third time, I do feel is advantageous to him. I would also add this, going back and rewatching, the second game in Week 16, some key injuries helped the Rams, even though I'm not picking them to win the game.
Yeah, for me, I actually go with the Seattle Seahawks because the third matchup, in my opinion, helps the team that's continuing to evolve. The Los Angeles Rams are who they are, even with them having the ability to add some players that weren't available in Week 16. The Los Angeles Rams are going to come into this game. They're going to try to get into 13 personnel. They're going to put things on the back of Matthew Stafford, whereas this team, the Seattle Seahawks, and Clint Kubiak and who they are offensively, that's not who they were in Week 16. Kenneth Walker III, that was the week where he became more a part of this offense. And now we'll see how you spell Zach Charbonnet, or does that put more on Kenneth Walker's shoulders? And I also feel like anytime you're in a third matchup, it benefits the offense. And that can mean the Seattle Seahawks offense or the Los Angeles Rams, because what great defenses do is line up where they feel comfortable, be in a position to stop big plays, and how can they affect the quarterback. Those things don't necessarily change. And as they might not change for Mike McDonald or Chris Shula, I believe Mike McDonald and the versatility of their players, Nick Eamon-Worry, what we can see Ernest Jones do in zone coverage defensively, and also the skill that they have on the outside with, in my opinion, safeties that move around together in such a creative way. I think the Seattle Seahawks schematically have an opportunity to take advantage of this third game, and the fact that they're so different, in my opinion, from who they were Week 16 offensively helps them.
They're different, huh? Okay. Let me say this. I'll defer to y'all. I'm just little old me just going to give you my feelings. The little old me just going to give me little feelings here.
Darnold.
So the Los Angeles Rams get to see Sam Darnold the third time. I don't know about y'all, but I think that favors the Rams. That's just me. That's just me. I could be wrong. I could be wrong because Sam Darnold is no scrub. And he is 28-4 against the rest of the National Football League over the last 2 years. 28-4. 28-4. That's very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. Congratulations. But he 1-3 against the Rams, okay? And I'm looking at it from that standpoint, and I know that if you're Seattle, who, by the way, undefeated in NFC Championship games in their history, 3-0. They don't lose at home in the AFC Championship games. But the funny thing under Coach McDonald, do you know they're 15-2 on the road with him?
Better on the road.
But 10-8 at home.
Yeah.
10-8 at home. So I'm thinking about them being better on the road than they are at home. I'm thinking about Sam Darnold getting to be looked at and seen and played against a third time. I'm thinking about Charbonnet being out. Now, Kenneth Walker's got like 275 yards from scrimmage in the 2 games he's gone against the Rams this year, getting like 6 yards a carry. Brother's doing his thing. And obviously he can fill him, but Mina just pointed out how the Rams got a piece back on defense, and that's going to help them to defend against the run. I'm thinking about all those things. The only thing that I would say that the Rams are at a disadvantage is that they've had 2 playoff games and Seattle only had 1, and it really wasn't a game because they annihilated the San Francisco 49ers 41-6. And as a result, they are not nicked and beat up, or at least a little bit, whereas we can't say that about the Rams. But when I think about what the Rams are bringing to the table, and I think about how the defense has served to rattle Sam Darnold, all I'm saying, D.O., is I got to see it to believe it. Sam Darnold, NFC Championship game against the Los Angeles Rams, his kryptonite. He rises above all of that and answers the call. You got to show me in order for me to believe that. I'm going with the Rams to win this game.
Listen.
I'm going with the Rams to win this
Well,
game.
you got Rams colors on, so it's nice Rams blue.
One of Rams colors. Go ahead, Mina.
One of them.
All right, look, that's totally fair on Darnold. My belief is that the Seahawks' discovery of the run game in the second, or the final third of the season should help settle him the way we've seen in recent weeks. But I want to make a point, and Dan Orlovsky might have to put on earmuffs because I'm worried what's going to happen to his head. It might explode when I say this. Matthew Stafford's had a bad postseason, y'all.
Yep.
Like, let's talk about it. These last 2 games have not been up to his standard by any stretch. Dan, you might actually admit this, so I don't want to speak for you here. And that was against the Panthers and the Bears. Now you're going up against the best the defense in the NFL, certainly the best defense left, and you're coming off of 2 of arguably like some of the worst games. They're not of the entire season for him, but he has not played well. Does that not concern anyone just a little bit that Matthew Stafford has not been playing well in the postseason and that he might be a little bit banged up? Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, so you know me, we were texting about it in game. I talked about it on live this week. I don't think Matthew played well against the Bears. I don't think Sean McVay was good against the Bears. They find a way to win, all that. How much the weather impacted that because the negative temperature, all that. So I agree. I don't think he played as bad against the Panthers as people kind of made him out to play. I think it's hard to throw for 360 on the road and play poorly. But I agree. It hasn't been like an easy sledding offensively for them. Their offensive line hasn't been as good as it's been protection-wise, some blown protections against the Chicago Bears that have my attention. This is what I would say in regards to the matchup of Stafford and that Rams offense versus Seattle's defense. I think the only way, and this is what Chicago did to slow this offense, is you got to make him uncomfortable. If you don't, he will rip you apart like he did in Week 16. And so if the Seahawks are capable of doing that, I think that's their best chance to win. I totally agree with that. But if they don't, they'll have 40 put on them again because the Rams offense is that explosive.
Yeah.
This is the first playoff.
Well,
okay, go ahead, as I say.
As Robert De Niro said to Al Pacino in the movie Heat, there's a flip side to that coin. And that flip side is Jared Verse, who's got 14 pressures against Sam Darnold in the 2 games they played against them this year. I mean, and it ain't just him. You get pressure on Sam Darnold. Mina, you're absolutely right. Matthew Stafford has not looked great in these playoffs. I'm going to take into account that weather in Chicago, I'm going to say that had an effect. Now, Carolina's a different animal, but that freezing temperatures in Chicago, he's still throwing out after that. Okay, so it's freezing, all right? But I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm asking, am I supposed to be more worried about Matthew Stafford than I am Sam Darnold? I don't think so.
Thinks it's a one-on-one game.
So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. I mean, to me, I think that when you look at the Rams accumulate 581 yards of offense just a few weeks ago in Seattle on the road in that 38-37 loss, I'm of the mindset that everything that we're talking about will bear itself out, and it's going to come down to Sam Darnold and whether or not you can win this game for Seattle and propel them to the Super Bowl against your kryptonite.
Yes.
Let's see.
And protect the football, right? You can't be turning the ball over. Also, this is the first
That's
playoff
what it all
game.
comes with it.
This is the first playoff game between teams that have been decided by 2 or fewer points, and they've played twice in the season. This is going to be a close game no matter what. Coming up on First Take.